The Animal Rescue League continues to see a record number of people and families in need of pet assistance at their pet food pantries. We're joined now by Josh Fiala, the Pet Support Services Manager at the ARL. Thanks for joining us this afternoon, Josh.
Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
You're talking about just this great need that you're helping meet every month, really every day of the year. Let's talk a little bit about these pet food pantries.
Yeah, so we have a pet food pantry, so if people are in need of pet food, we have it available. We have it at both of our locations. We've teamed up with a lot of food pantries across the Des Moines area to put pet food in too, and then we host a drive-up pet food pantry twice a month just to really give them a good chunk of food all at the same time.
Who are you seeing that has been, I guess I would say, your customers right now?
Yeah, it's really anybody that's really struggling, financially in some ways, and really just wants to make sure that their pet is taken care of. I mean, we want to make sure that anybody that's in need of pet food has access to it, and so we've been very fortunate to get a lot of donations and really build up a program to allow us to have a lot of pet food for a lot of people and pets.
So let's talk about the places that people can go, because the drive-through pantries, you were saying, I mean, that people can be waiting an hour.
Yeah, so yeah, that one's twice a month. We do that the second and fourth Wednesday of each month. Right now we're doing it at 2 p.m. to 3:30, but that will change in the new year to change to starting at noon. So yeah, people can come, wait in line. We'll load them up with dog food, cat food, and litter if we have it, and then we'll track that for our end, and then if they are in need outside of those second and fourth Wednesday, we have at both of our locations they can come in and get pet food there, and then again we work with DMARC pantries and a number of Food Bank of Iowa pantries as well. So all of those can be found on our website, so you can see where we supply pet food across the Des Moines area.
So you're saying if there's a need, you are doing your best to meet it. No one will be turned away from these places.
Yeah, we want to make sure that if people have a need for pet food, that they leave with pet food. Most of the time, we're very fortunate through donations and through, like I said, retailers and local communities that step up and help donate food. We usually have some available.
You were saying, some of the people that you hear from are obviously so appreciative of the help, because sometimes they're feeding their pets before even themselves.
Yeah, and that's really one of the main reasons why we wanted to team up with the food pantries, right? Because if they're there for food and they can get pet food right there, great, let's do that. And yeah, we've definitely found that people care so much for their pets, and it's really part of their family. And just like they wouldn't let their kid go without food, they're not going to let their pet go without food, right? And so that's really where we're fortunate enough to have a good system set up to make sure people are getting pet food when they need it.
Are you even, I don't know if surprised is the right word, but just alarmed to see just how much the need continues and is growing month after month?
I think alarmed is a really good word for it, because I mean, each month we're seeing a little bit of an uptick every month in the number of households we're helping, the number of pets we're helping, the amount of food we're able to give out, which is really nice, so we can keep matching that. But yeah, that's definitely seeing a continual uptick. So that's why it's important for people to get out, and if they have open bags of food that they can donate, if they have full bags of food that they can donate, or if they want to give money, we have a Pot Forward campaign that really all goes towards helping keep people and pets together.
Yeah, talk about that Pot Forward campaign.
It's a great way for people to really have a way to give. Specifically for pet support services, and that's all around keeping people and pets together. So different things like pet food pantry is obviously a big part of it, but we also have veterinary assist, spay and neuter assistance, crisis care, and vaccine clinics. So all of those things that if people donate to the Pot Forward will go towards really making sure people and pets can stay together.
You brought up the interesting point. I always think, if there's a bag of pet food that's open, maybe what do you do with it? Can really anyone take it? But
yeah, we will absolutely take it, because one of the things we'll do is if it's good, we'll rebag it. If not, we'll work with a lot of wildlife refuge or local other organizations that don't necessarily care always about the quality. They just need some food to help, and so we'll work with a lot of them as well.
Okay, so the needs, I mean, I know you mentioned kitty litter that's not always in supply, but food, just
dry dog food, dry cat food are our top two most give-it-away things, and then litter is another big one, and they can drop it off at either one of our ARL locations, and we'll get it in the hands of the people that need it.
Yeah, because each pet you're feeding, it keeps them out of the shelters that you're
saying. Absolutely, keeps them out of the shelters, keeps them healthy, and keeps them well-fed, right? And everybody likes a well-fed pup, because that's always a happy pup.
Right, that is the goal. All right, keep up the good work, Josh.
Thank you, appreciate it very much for having me.